So it's about an hour and a half later now, and I'm going to share with you what the effect of a morning full, an early afternoon full of aerosol dispersions ends up looking like. Say hello to Frankensky. This is the implementation of a patented scientific process known as solar radiation management. Verifiable. You can look that up and find it for yourself. Same with chemical ice nucleation. Patented geoengineering weather modification processes that are being and have been deployed for 70 years and constitutes a criminal assault on the health of not only the human population, but the population of all plant and animal species, the entire earth. President Johnson said himself, "He who controls the weather will control the world. He who controls the weather controls the world." This is weather brought to you by the military-industrial complex, done covertly, obviously. They are not announcing this to you, and they are putting on a nice facade of having governmental oversight and agencies, health agencies, and they put on the show for the public that they are, they have the Environmental Protection Agency, so-called. Environmental, governmental, mental. They'll never teach you in their public governmental educational establishments that the basic levels are the unmanifest spirit soul. Nestled within that sphere would be the soul of the level of conscious awareness of psyche, of self. That would be in the mid-L, the mind in the mid-L, the soul, the psyche, as the intermediary. The intermediary would be the psyche, the mind. That's why the mind is M-I-N, which is another way of saying M-O-N, which is another way of saying M-O-O-N, moon. Min, mind, moon. The minutes are the moon, the minutes, and the seconds are also in that section of the minute, and then the hour would be the Horus sun. Hour's anagram with Horus. Hour, etymologically, or right away it'll tell you on etymonline.com when you type in the word hour that it has to do with the canonical holy church and the holy appointed time, the hour, the noon, high noon of the Most High. They will never tell you about your basic structure, and then the mind is the bridge or the intermediary between the unmanifest, causal, and the manifest, or the natural, mater in Greek, mother earth, mother nature, which would be the effect, or the evact, the even action, the equilibrium of Libra, of the evening, of 9 o'clock, the sacred feminine, of the sunset, of the black sun, of the valley of the shadow of death. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil of El. Thine rod and thine staff comfort me. Really? Not sure if I'm down for that, Mr. Shepherd. Jack Shepherd. So it's the winter time almost now. We're in the final days of autumn, the 14th of December. Still technically autumn time. Winter begins on the solstice of the 21st. Solstice, as I've said approximately 214 times already on this channel in recent months, means sun stands still. I was being sardonic when I said the estimated number. I do not count how many times I say things. I am not like Rain Man, Ra, En Man, In Man, the light in man, Rain Man. Brain Man. 3 o'clock is the position of the rising sun, the house of the rising sun, Aries, which is an anagram, ram with arise. And that 3 o'clock position of Aries arise corresponds in your anatomy and its astrological makeup to your cerebrum, your high ram of your head, your brain. And then you have the flaming sword with the cherubim put in the east, which is the 3 o'clock position of the rising sun in the book of Genesis, genetics. Genesis, 7 letters, genetic, Genetic, 7 letters, letters of Taurus. Genes. G is the Greek phonetic for Gaia, as in geometry and gematria. So the number-letter correspondence is a revelation. The deeper you go into it, you start with the alphabet as the basis, the basics, your ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and then you move into the reduction by addition to get to the number value of any word or any name. And whether you know it or not, that name or word has a number value fixed to it, sixed to it. A misunderstanding about Genesis, genetics, that first book of the Pentateuch, the Torah of Taurus, of the bull god El. That basic misunderstanding of Isis, by taking that book literally, it's caused this intellectual stupor to overtake humanity. By short-circuiting the brain and its functions of left brain, right brain, and the need for integration with them. There's chronic brain imbalance created through surrendering to a dogma, a creed, to a selected series of tenets. What it does is it takes you out of the command center of your psyche in the middle, the intermediary, as I said, between the unmanifest and the manifest, between the causal and the effect, shul, of El. They're both El. It's just there's this midline which bridges the horizontal mid-El, symbolically in your body as your waist line, west line of Libra, of the hips. And you need to have command of that midline. You need to be the one who's sitting in that command position, rowing your boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you've been taken out of that command center within yourself, your ship has been commandeered, as they would say, right? It has been pirated. And this is what has happened, largely because people aren't given these keys like gematria, letter number correspondence. They're not given this mystical stuff of the midline, the equator, middle, the mist, the gnosis, the knowledge of the six, of the base six. They're not given this astrotheological wisdom. The keys of the kingdom are withheld from them, and hence we have what we have. A sleeping, in no sense, childlike society that refuses to take personal responsibility because they've surrendered it to government, to worldly power, authority, religious authority, government and state authority are interchangeable, and they both are in bed with the banking, finance, business empire. It's all the American empire is a British Anglo-American empire that is represented by the corporate structure. And corporate is corpsorate. So the serpent in the Garden of Eden. What is the Garden of Eden? Well, tell you this, there's no original copy of any of the books of the Torah. There's only fragments. So the claim that the Garden of Eden is literal historical, and all this stuff about, they found the Garden of Eden located where so-and-so, and it's the burden of proof is on all those making that claim, and they do not have the proof, and the claim that it's the literal word of God, and that this is literally how things came to be. 6 days of creation, the seventh rest. It's obvious malarkey when you do some investigation and you look into the historical backdrop of the so-called Holy Bible, and you put the pieces, you connect the dots, you put the pieces of the puzzle together, the puzzle, tag ether. You put them together, and you bring this map back, this map that I'm talking about of you and your basic structure of having three basic levels, or LEVELs, of Eve, of Libra, of LEE, and LEY, and LINE, and LION. Asato ma zid gemaye, tamaso ma jyotiv gemaye, mrityo ma amritam gemaye.